Okay, welcome everybody to this evening's ACY Securities webinar. My name is Duncan Cooper. Thanks for attending. Tonight's webinar is Live Forex Market Review. So before we get into it, if you can read through the disclaimer, any questions to the question box or chat box as we're moving along. If you're on our YouTube channel, live stream, I cannot see the chat. So if you want to come in and talk to us, just follow the link that I've given you and you can just register and join us in the webinar room. All right, so please everybody just read through this disclaimer. All right, let's move along. So if you don't know me, my name is Duncan Cooper. I'm the Senior Market Strategist and Trading Mentor at ACY Securities, and I'm a full-time Forex trader. Been trading now for more than 15 years in the Forex market and mentoring for more than 10. If you want to contact me, my email is there on screen, duncan.cooper@acy.com. And you can connect with me through the week on our website. Go to the Market News tab at acy.com, our YouTube channel there, ACY Securities Australia. And you can connect with me as well on Twitter and LinkedIn if you wish. My handles are there. And through the week in our Telegram channel, if you want to get access to that, you'll need to contact Nathan. So I'll put his details in the chat right now as well. If you want to get access to my chart layouts and templates for MT4, then simply contact Nathan. He will sort you out. So anything, any questions or access to the Telegram, chart layouts and templates, or you want to set up a demo account or a live account, just contact Nathan. Let's put his details in the chat right now, and he'll follow up with you if you make contact with him. All right, so let's get into it. Now, let's have a look at the news coming out. Tonight, we've got the ADP non-farm employment change for the US and the ISM services PMI data, expecting a dip on those two figures. Canadian unemployment figures. And let me just correct myself. Let me just refresh this. All right. All right, so then ISM services PMI data and job figures was the night before. So we're into Thursday, the April 6th here. So tonight's data is Canadian employment data, US unemployment claims figures, okay? And then tomorrow, even though it's Easter Friday, they release the job figures for the US at 10:30 p.m. These times are Queensland time. Now, market can be active around these news items, but let's not forget we are heading into a holiday season. So the market, it may trend or it may not. Large traders may not be really trading in the market. They may be on holiday for a long weekend. You just don't know. So it is the holiday season. The market can be a little bit slow going. Orders might be a little bit thin. Prices might move a little bit quick and then snap straight back. So just be aware of that. All right, so that's the data coming out. And of course, on Monday, it's Easter Monday, so that'll probably be a slow going day before we get into US CPI data next Wednesday, okay? All right, so let's have a look around. So what I'm really just focusing on is where's price going to be for tomorrow evening in terms of price levels. And for the most part, during the week, this is the dollar index. I've been saying that from a weekly perspective, we are actually in an uptrend, moving down from a higher top. And we false broke this weekly level of support down here. And we pretty much almost got down to the same level. So the question will, can the US dollar survive this pullback? Or is it going to break down through support and through the most recent bottom formed on the weekly chart? Or are we going to turn around and as we move to the day chart. Are we going to find support down here? We're back up to the 79% level. So we traded down through the 79% level that was holding 2 weeks ago, and we're kind of back up to that level. So are we putting in the bottom here, or are we continuing down? I guess the job figures coming up on Friday will probably cement the outcome of that. All right. But if you see the dollar index, if you see price come down on the dollar index here and hit this level and then strongly reverse, then maybe we're going to get a similar move back up like we had up here. So we are getting down to a very critical level of support. Is it going to hold or not? S&P 500 has actually moved up to, on the weekly chart here, back up to these highs that have been holding. So we see the US dollar back down to lows, S&P 500 back up to highs. Which way is going to win out over the next week? We're going to break higher, or are we going to move back down? All right, so seeing a 2-day reversal up here, we're back up to 79% retracement of this range here, which is the monthly range. So good level for topping out once more. I'll have to wait and see whether that can top out. It really needs to take out this high here to really confirm that it wants to continue up. Other than that, where it is right now, you'd have to start to think, are we stalling, stopping, and going to put in reversal at some point? All right, now let me just click through the charts, and I don't think anything really is imminently setting up, but I might start on the pound. And we have traded above, and it's trying to hold above this double top area at 124.48. Did put in rather a nice little harami inside reversal candle up there yesterday. So wasn't able to follow through to the upside after the US news yesterday. Tried to move back up and then just fell flat. So it is getting up to a very high area. You know, are we going to get a false break of these tops, or are we going to continue up? Now, at the moment, even though we've traded back below that level of support resistance, 124.48, we've popped back up. Now, the 4-hour structure there is potentially down, lower top, lower bottom. There's a minor low here that hasn't quite confirmed yet. So, you know, is that a lower top to a bottom? So that's not a lower bottom, it's a higher bottom. So let me correct myself. I've got a lower top and we got 2 higher bottoms here. So which way is it going? Sellers are defending the highs up here, and the buyers are defending the support level at the moment. So to the 50-minute chart, what I've kind of noticed is this is a range of yesterday. And, you know, this was the news candle where we came back up to 125 and then just traded down for the rest of the day, put in that negative inside candle. And today we've, of the range that formed yesterday, we've rallied back up to the 62% level. So, you know, are we seeing are we actually going to break below 24.48? So at the moment, we've kind of faltered at the 62% level of yesterday's range, putting the fib across the direction of the candle, which was negative and down. And a smaller little range may be forming here. It was faltering at the central pivot point, but we've been up to the 62 level. Are we turning there to move down and test 124.48? So we may well see a further decline down from the central pivot point there to test that support. Now, there may be an option to buy down here. If support holds on small, you might be looking for a setup down here to be a buyer at supports. But at the moment, that rally looks like it's completed at the moment, and I think it may be coming down to test 124.48. And then the question will be, what does price do down there? All right, we did trade below there through Asia. So this could just be the London session lifting price up to a higher level before we're moving back below that level through the rest of the trading day. So you can monitor that. Of course, you don't want to be selling too close to 124.48 if it's moving down, and that could definitely be support to move back up. So that's the level to watch. What happens at 124.48? Does it remain a support, or do we start to break? Now, pound yen, there's the possibility here where we've failed up here, a weekly resistance, 166.00, 79% fibs, 29 pips above. Are we forming a double top across there for a decline down? We've already broken the reversal candle, confirming the potential of a reversal. And if it's a double top, then we could be seeing a move down to the price projection of the double top, which is at 150.52, which sounds a long way away. Are we getting a reversal from up there? All right. We have actually traded below a minor bottom here to maybe put this into a lower bottom situation on the day chart. And this area of support resistance is holding potentially the high of the day. So down the 4-hour chart. So 164.03 could be where we store that today. You can see these highs over here as well. And couldn't quite get to 164. So through the course of the day, we may see a stub up to 164. So I would watch 164 for a failure through the day. We may have already failed up there. We have changed the structure there to a downtrend on the 50-minute chart. And again, like the pound dollar, we're having a bit of a 62% rally there, back almost up to 79. So we've moved down. We've rallied back up. Are we now starting to sell down to continue down? All right. We may well be already just turning over to move down. We could have put in the high of the day there as we came back up to retest that 164.03 area. All right. But the bigger picture over the next week will be, does this double top play out? Does this area at 164.03 now hold as resistance for a continued move down? Okay. And whatever your setup is, maybe to sell, look for it in line with that reversal with the double top for a move down. All right, let's move to euro. Now the euro, it's a little bit weaker than the pound dollar because the euro did move above its resistance level, 109.27, but it couldn't hold it. We got a nice little railroad tracks reversal there. Trend on the day chart though is still up. Edwin, you're saying, I will feel more comfortable if price is trading below the weekly support to resistance level. Yeah, on that pound dollar, you know, with it being above this level of support at the moment, you know, selling up here to try to trade down the break, it's a lot less safer than, you know, seeing price action have a clear break below, and then we come back up and this becomes clear resistance. Well, of course, there's some support coming in there. So it's always very cautious trying to be sell it above that level, thinking that we could move back below because it could still be support. So yeah, I am similar thinking to what you're saying. It would be nicer to see a clear break below, and then you can see it become resistance. Because at the moment, the play may well be to the upside. If we come back down to 124.48 and we hold, then if it's holding, maybe it's the opportunity to buy to trade the continuation move back up. All right. So let's go back now to euro dollar. Now, it's a little bit opposite on the euro dollar. We have actually moved below the key resistance level, couldn't hold above it. So then, and I put this out on Telegram today, it offers the opportunity, if price can be friendly, and my dog's just getting excited. False breaking this area of daily chart resistance. Hasn't quite changed the 4-hour trend to down, but that was a very negative collapse down yesterday. I'm just watching to see if price can come up back to that level. 109.27, you got the 79% fib at 109.22. That's of this larger range. Are we really having a false break of the 79% level? Are we actually going to get a turnaround there? It's really the inverse of the dollar index. The dollar index is trying to hold at 79% pullback. This is, the upside down version. Is it holding there? Are we actually going to see through the course of the month a move back down? All right, so at the moment, I'm just watching to see if we can come back up to 109.27. Might not get there. We've already had a rally back up and we couldn't get to the central pivot point. So it isn't looking strong. Now, if we can't get up to this 109.27 level, whereas last week's high and last month's high in the same area, then over the next 24 hours, we actually might see 109 start to be resistance. We trade nicely below 109 and then look to be 109 to be resistance through the course of the rest of the trading week. Now, with the volatility coming out for the job figures on Friday, even if we trade below 109 nicely, we could still spike back up to 109.27. So that's the level to watch over the next 24 hours to 30 hours or so. Is do we revisit 109.27 and what happens there? All right. Euro yen. Now, got a number of lines in here, but let's just get rid of a few. Really? Key areas to watch. Let's get rid of that line for the moment. We could, through the course of the month, it's worth planning out for the month on this pair at the moment. We could revisit 145.56. We could revisit 139.54, which is weekly resistance, weekly support. And those levels could offer great trading opportunities to trade down from or up from. Okay, so I get those levels on. At the moment, looks like a complete failure up here. We've moved below this bottom just there, back below this high. So that day chart resistance at 143.62. That's the level to watch today. Can price pop back up to that level? And I'll draw a fib across that range too, just to map things out. The 62 level is just fractionally above that level. So if we drop it to the 15. 62% level at 143.71 and 143.62 day resistance. That would be an area to watch a bit later in the day when the US news comes out. We may have already topped out here at the central pivot point. So you might see it when the news comes out, you might see the opportunity for this to come back up to here or come back up to this level. But at the moment, trading right now, it's just moving down. We may have already put in the high of the day and we're just continuing to move down within that range. And Zhu, you're saying you expect some dollar strength. We've been down for the last 3 weeks. Well, we may just continue down for another week and another week and another week. We'll have to wait and see. But if we start to see euro dollar weakness, that may well get translated into further euro yen weakness here. We may have already topped for the day at that central pivot point. Structure here on the 15-minute chart is already showing. So, I mean, depending on what your philosophy is at the moment, you could be selling stuff above today's high. And you're just watching this move down all day long. But I would be looking for a higher level at 143.62 and the 62 level when the news comes out later? Can it spike up? All right, over to the Aussie pairs. Now, another pair that could be forming a double top. We've got monthly support down here. Daily resistance where we've got this double top. The overall long-term trend on the higher time frames down. Here's the weekly. This has been down, rally down. Yes, we've had 2 weeks up, but we might be putting another lower top here where we're creating that double top for another leg down. And then as that leg down continues, we may well break through supports. So you want to get in ahead of supports. It was a great opportunity yesterday. All right, the longer you wait, the closer you get into support here. And then, you know, it might not break support. At 87 could be support to trade up to put in a higher bottom. But at the moment, the pattern forming is a double top. So a double top across there. And then if we put in the price projection, the 200% level comes in at 81.91, which is a long way away. Always seems a long way away when you're dealing with a double top price projection or double bottom price projection. But if we break the low of last month, then we could well be heading down to 81.91. So let's call it 82. So at the moment, there's the best part of 600 pips towards that level. So trying to get short on whatever your setup is, well ahead of support, which is 87 at the moment, would be the go for our chart. It's getting a little bit consolidatory in here at the moment. This area here, support that would be the area to watch for a rally. If one can come around over the next, that's just the range of yesterday. So we're just kind of a bit flat. We can't get up to the central pivot point, so that is not showing any strength at all. But 62 level overlaps with the 4-hour resistance at those lows that I was talking about. So if we can get a move up, sell a rally, about 88.57 up to the 62 level, just in there, would be a good level to watch for a rally if a rally can come. Yesterday was the best time to get in when we found at the central pivot point. We had the first day down, the reversal from the double top level, held at central pivot point and traded all the way down. Today we can't get to the central pivot point. So you might find if we can't move up today to a higher level to sell, and we move down today, then you want to start to look at 88 to be resistance the next trading day. All right, because at the moment we're kind of a little bit above it, starting to want to move below 88. So if we don't get a nice rally back up within the range of yesterday, then tomorrow look at 88 to be resistance, because we're probably going to finish lower today than 88, and 88 will start to come resistance, I'm sure. All right, Aussie dollar, another pair that could be forming a double top. Weekly trend is down. This has just been corrective against the weekly chart, 3 or 4 weeks. So Aussie yen and Aussie dollar look very similar. All right, we're back below this 67.16 level. From just a pure risk to reward perspective, I like to get in by the 79% level as we're moving down. So there's the 79% level. We're obviously below that level at the moment. All right, so with any of the double tops that we might be talking about at the moment, you know, if price does get moved back up to the 79% level, so I'm just going to head back 1 second to the Aussie yen. This day chart here, let me just get rid of that fib for a moment. If we were to rally back up and you want to trade this double top, trading at the 79% level here, 89.30, stop above the high, offers you great risk to reward if the double top runs out. So obviously we dropped quite far down from that level, but if it came back up to that level and you started to see it hold, trading at or close to that level, stop above the high, then creates a very good risk to reward if we do move down for that pattern. All right, so that'd be the same commentary on the Aussie dollar here. That 79% level, if you move to a 4-hour chart, which overlaps with last week's high at the moment, being a seller there, stop above the high, creates like a risk reward for the double top price projection of about 1 to 7, I think, something like that, 1 to 7 or better. All right, so that's just perfect. It might be more like more like close to 1 to 9, to be perfectly honest. So, trading at 79, and then if this runs out to the true double top price projection down here, it is approximately 1 to 9. If you're good at maths, it is approximately 1 to 9, because if you think you're trading there 79% level, so call that the 80 level. So let's say this whole range here is 100 pips, trading at the 80 level, stop above the high, risking approximately 20 pips. Target 80 to the low, and then there's another 100 below, so it's approximately 1 to 9. All right, it's definitely 1 to 8. So that creates exceptional risk to reward. Okay, and you only have to have a few of these work, and suddenly you're well ahead of the game. All right, so on any of these double tops that I'm talking about, if we do just simply cycle back up to the 79 fib level, sell, stop above the high, gives you great risk to reward. I think we were talking about the pound yen before, the possibility of a double top there. This is a much larger range, but that 79% level is at 164.34 there. All right, covered the pound already. It's just dribbling its way down to, again, deliberate at 124.48. Is it going to be support? Just checking my chats. All right, I think that's all good. New Zealand yen. We may have failed at the 62 level here and day resistance. I said earlier in the week, watched that 83.53 to be resistance. We did trade above it for 4 days, but we could not close above it. That was the opportunity up there to sell. Now we're coming down to weekly support here, so it's not in the perfect position at all. If you're short up here, you're just hoping that support breaks to come down and test a lower level of support. So I'm not seeing anything there to do, other than it does look like this has been a move down, 62% rally for a continued move down. So up here is where you want to trade at the moment. This could be support here. New Zealand dollar, another pair. I'm going to class this as a double top. Now, from the weekly perspective, we're downtrend, rallying back up close to the 62% level. Are we simply going to see a continuation pattern moving down long term? And the reversal that may be happening there is from potentially a double top. That's fractionally short, I know, but there's 2 tops here as well, so it can actually be called a triple top up there. We might come back up to that level for a further sniff when the job figures come out, potentially, but if we do get back up there, watch 63.89, this resistance here, watch 63.64, but we may have already done business up there already. It's looking very negative from that reversal. So price projection, let's get rid of that other fib. There it is. All right, so 57.78. Now, when we're talking about double top on the Aussie dollar, double top on the New Zealand dollar, these are all versus the US dollar. Well, potentially the euro dollar could be fading up there at its resistance level where it's false breaking. Of course, if we start to move down, then that pullback that we were seeing on the dollar index theoretically is going to hold and move up, isn't it? So that's all going to be data dependent though. If we keep getting negative data from the US, then, well, you know, Aussie dollar and euro and Aussie dollar and New Zealand dollar are moving down, irrespective of the fact that the euro dollar and the pound dollar have been moving up this week. You know, the pound dollar at the moment is very strong across the board when we're talking about pairs to the US dollar, but Aussie dollar, New Zealand dollar are nowhere near holding, you know, the strength versus the US dollar that we've been seeing in other pairs. All right, so is there potential for double top here? Getting in at the moment is difficult. Again, moving back up to the 79% level there, stop above these highs, would be a very good positional play. Moving to the 4-hour chart, over the next week, this 62.94 level, it's daily chart resistance here, and this other level that was held all last month at 62.75, which needs some price action to maybe move below it there. And I would definitely then watch this area to be resistance to move down. All right. So this needs to break below this area of potential support at the moment and become resistance. But tomorrow through the news, if this spikes up and then wants to start to move back below 79, try and catch it close to the 79% level for a sell, stop above the highs for the double top. All right. Dollar Canadian. Now, this is what I put in on Tuesday. We didn't quite get down to 79 level. We're false breaking this area of day support. This looks like a bit of a reversal coming. This looks like, from the weekly chart perspective, that we've had almost a 79% pullback within the trend of the weekly chart. And we could be moving back up, which of course is US dollar positive for the dollar index. All right, now at the moment though, the day chart trend is down, but we're having a 3-day reversal. We could be putting a bottom in there, or our trend is turning up. All right. As to a setup at the moment, we've got, of course, got the job figures coming out. Don't know what that's going to do for the Canada in about 3 hours, but just watch price action. Watch where support is, 134.41. You know, it could spike down to 130.41 and hold and start to reverse back up. Currently, the 4-hour trend is up, and you could just be monitoring for continuation, pullback. Drag your fib from the higher bottom to the higher high at the moment on the 4-hour. And see whether you can get a pullback to the 62. The 79 overlaps nicely at 134.41. So that would be a great area to watch later in the day when the news comes out. Assuming that price doesn't break above the high. If it does, you have to drag the fib up. But at the moment, 79% fib overlapping there with that 134.41 level of daily support would be a great level. You can see here when we move below, it instantly got rejected back up. So that is the key level to watch if we do get a spike down on any news over the next couple of days. All right. Dollar franc, which has been excessively weak. That's actually moved below some support levels. I put this out on Telegram today, but can't really see my monthly low here because I've got too many lines, but there's a monthly low in here at 90.80. And you can see it on the weekly chart. It's this level here. So it's 90.84. And there's 2 weekly lows here. We false broke this weekly low down here. And just of the bigger major range here, I'm just eyeballing it. That's why I'm drawing the fib in. I'm pretty sure it's close to the 79% level. There you go. So lots of support here, 79% area. this could well be a reversal area back up the chart. All right. And when you get to the daily chart, you'll see that we had a very nice reversal candle yesterday. Now, at the moment, what I put out this morning was if we could trade above the high yesterday, that will start to confirm the reversal, but we haven't traded above it yet. But you could be maybe thinking we are reversing. I just want to be a buyer at a lower level. All right, so at a lower level, so for our chart, draw a fib across that reversal candle. And you could be looking for a lower fib level, like a 62 level or a 79. 79 level would be the best one in terms of getting great risk reward. And that's very close. 90.20 is the 79 level. And the weekly level of support that we false broke yesterday is at 90.18. So that would be a great level to watch. Can it spike down there on the news? Today, tomorrow? We've already reversed down there once. Now, I don't know whether they can get down to the depths once more, but looking for that pullback within the big rejection candle yesterday, you're probably going to see some more buying pressure down there, even to the point where you could still be wrong, but you get the risk out. You know, this could come down. You could be a buyer here, stop below the low, and then this could bounce up and you can get the risk out. And then, you know, this may then continue down and through. But you can just watch to see what happens down there, if it can get down there. It might not get down there. We may have already bottomed here. And then, you know, from a day chart perspective, you could be looking for a break of that high as an entry. You could be putting your stop down here. That would obviously be a large stop. Or if we, let's say we're putting in an intraday bottom here today, and we move up, well, that could be a trigger to take a buy, and you could then lessen the risk in terms of pips by putting your stop below here, assuming that's the low of the day. All right, so are we seeing a reversal there on the dollar CAD back up? That moving up is obviously positive for the dollar index. It's kind of showing you the same kind of reversal, but inversed on the euro dollar. Is the US dollar bottoming? All right, dollar yen. Now, the key level to watch, I've been saying this for the last 2.5 to 3 weeks now, 130.40. We had a 4-hour chart, head and shoulder pattern here. And what we might be seeing now on the day chart, it could be from the weekly chart, head and shoulder pattern forming here. And it could be on the day chart, a right shoulder forming here. If this can stab down to 130.40, see the left shoulder, head. Is that going to be a right shoulder coming down from a higher top? Or we're going to form a day chart, head and shoulder down there. All right, so can price spike down to the level? Do you like the pattern? Are you happy to buy down there at 130.40? 79% levels at 130.51. You can watch that. All right, so some nice levels to trade around if price can get down there and hold. That level's been holding since 24th of March, where we false broke it. All right, so good level to watch over the next 24 hours, 130.40. And gold keeps going up. For you gold bugs out there, got nasty consolidation in here, what we spiked up when the US dollar news wasn't too great the other day. Can it continue up? I mean, it's high levels to be a buyer, but the trend is quite clearly up on the weekly day charts. It is down on the monthly. It's down on the monthly until we take out this high. All right, because that's the lower bottom. So the question, anybody that likes to trade gold, the question is at the moment, does this have like awesome strength now and it's just going to plow straight through these highs? or is it going to come up short or create a triple top? And Slav is saying gold seems to determine to form a triple top. Well, it might just blow straight through there. But I guess, you know, for those that clearly understand support and resistance, nobody wants to be buying up there, do they? You know, from an experienced trader's perspective, nobody wants to be buying up there. All right, you should have already done your buying by now, and you're waiting to see if we're going to get a momentum break above there. All right. We are now breaking above this weekly top, 1998. So if you're still prepared to be a buyer on this, you know, support is now here and that top there at 2003. That area now needs to hold on a pullback. 1998 needs to hold a support on a pullback to continue the move. We close below that level, then, you know, clearly it's too high up there. It's going to reverse back down. All right. Adrian, you're talking about to me pound yen. You're looking for a trendline break and a break of the day support for sell. Let's just go back to that one. Break of day support. Break of this area here, 163.33. Yeah, clearly today and yesterday, there's a bit of dealing going on that level. So your trend line break is trend lines here, is it at the moment? And day support. All right. So you're wanting support to break, the trend line to break. Yep. At the moment, it's trapped between two levels at the moment. It's trapped between resistance up here. So daily resistance up there, 164.03, and daily support from that top over there. Yeah, it's a bit of a nasty area there at the moment. I mean, quite clearly 164 is being defended. You know, if I was going to trade this pair, and I don't normally trade this pair, but if I was going to trade it, I would be looking up there. You know, I like to be aggressive and short at resistance, so I'd be looking up there. But that's more than valid, the break of that trend line. And if we look at yesterday's range, which is just trying to work out the high yesterday. Maybe let me just find the dates. All right, high yesterday was there. All right, so we've actually failed at 62% level of yesterday's range. So another failure in there would be a perfect reversal level, like I was discussing before. But yeah, waiting for a clear break of support as well. It's more than valid. All right, so some of these pairs at the moment are a little bit choppy. Not following through to the downside yet on the pound dollar. The play on the pound dollar could be to the upside. If 124.48 holds, we could be trading back up to 125. Clearly at the moment, 124.48 on the pound dollar support. And you can see yesterday's price action. Anything above 125 is being met by the sellers. All right. So your two areas is, if you want to be a seller, watch 125 and above. And this could well be the buy place at the moment. 124.48. So that's only a 50 pip range. And we might not do any more than that 50 pip range till we get to the job figures tomorrow. We're heading into Easter. You know, people in the UK, they're all breaking up for Easter. All those pound traders in the UK, maybe they're having a holiday. So, but I would be watching, I'd be favoring the downside at the moment, but the possibility of a false break above 124.48. But I could be wrong. But I'm not in it at the moment, so I'm just waiting to see, does that false break 124.48 like we're seeing the false break on the euro dollar at the moment? Because if this euro dollar has false broke there to move down, the pound probably can't go up because it'll be all US dollar strength coming in. So we'll then probably see a break. All right. Edwin, you're still talking about the pound yen? You're saying seeing a head and shoulder pattern on, is it the pound yen? Do you want to confirm for me? All right. So you're looking up here. So you're saying this is a left shoulder head, and then this potentially could come all the way up to there. So, I mean, this is possible. This could get driven all the way up there. So you're saying that's your left shoulder. I mean, this is more than potentially possible. I mean, I've been calling that a double top, but within that double top coming in, what we might see is that, yes, price gets driven up. You know, that is well worth monitoring. Let me just get rid of these fibs that I've got in. I mean, that's well worth monitoring if we get driven up to that 79% level. Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, that day chart support could be where support comes in to drive that up. Of course, to get driven up, it's going to need to break the 164.03 level, which is this level from over here, and all these highs here. There's all these highs in here. If I move back to I just color those tops in. Those highs are the thing that's going to stop it from moving up. Those tops there. So, you know, those tops there. Back to my 50-minute scenario, you know, why is it, you know, where is it stopping for a high today at the moment? It's all those day chart tops just to the left. So it's a question of, can this break back above that area at the moment? If it breaks above that area, then yes, that head and shoulder pattern could well form. You know, that would be worth watching for next week if we break above 164.03. So at the moment, it's just stuck between 163.33 and 164.03. So which pattern's going to dominate? Is the double top dominating and it's not going to allow a rally? Or are we going to, that double top could still be valid, but we rally back up to put in a head and shoulders as well. So all valid. You know, from a pure trading perspective, it would be great if that got back up to there. And then those that haven't got in yet for the double top pattern, that offers then a great potential pattern to get in. And then rather than just trading the profit target of the head and shoulder pattern, you could trade the double top target, getting in on the head and shoulder pattern. All right, yep, worth monitoring that. All right, everybody, we might call it an evening there if there's no more questions. Our thoughts on the Nasdaq. All right. Well, it looks like a bit of a false break up here. Maybe a false break. that colored area that I've had drawn in, which is all this resistance through here. I'm actually going to put a line in. So I'm going to use all right, so that's the monthly range where I've got the fib across. This looks very similar. It's a similar range to that I was discussing on the S&P 500, where we're at the 79% level. Weekly trend is up, but it's just trading back up within the monthly downtrend range. So it is it is at a great level to sell. Stop above up here really is the perfect area. And you can see where we moved down and then that became resistance there. We obviously held there, we held here, just drifting back below the line that I've put in at 12,945. Seeing a lower top form would be a very good confirmation that that is reversing for the longer term. This is still in an uptrend on the day chart, higher bottom, higher top, but I can sense a reversal there at the moment. It's obviously a very high price up there for the market because it's been holding there, failing there countless times through the course of the last, maybe last 6 months, 8 months, something like that. August high, so that was start of August, so what's that? 5 months, 8 months. Okay. So yeah, we could be topping out there. Be nice to see this sell further down and then come back up, hold, and it starts to map a downtrend down from that failure. All right, so it could be fighting there. We'll have to wait for some more trading days. All right, well, so maybe no more questions coming in. Okay, thank you. Next week, get past Easter. So everybody have a great Easter, wherever you're doing. Coming up on the webinar front. If my page will refresh. Next Tuesday, we've got more market analysis. Next Wednesday, there's an education webinar where we're going to go through, just trying to think while I'm waiting for this to refresh. It's going to be on market liquidity next week. Always a bit of a contentious topic, but it's worth kind of understanding the theory, because at the moment in some areas of the charts, we may have seen that kind of process going on. So, all right, this doesn't want to refresh for some reason, but next Tuesday's market analysis, next Wednesday will be on market liquidity. That all webinars are starting now at 7 p.m. Sydney time. So just come over to the website and register if you want to see me. Other than that, don't eat too much chocolate over the weekend. Have a safe long weekend holiday, and I look forward to seeing you next time. Thanks, everybody.